Hi. In the last lecture, we looked at how to implement a manual form of pagination within our posts and how to handle exceptions uh, for unexpected values within our page get variable. In this lecture, we'll be looking at how to actually create the pagination links in our home.html template. So the first thing that I want to do is to create a container div called pagination. Pagination. Um, and then within that, I want to create three things. The first thing will be the next and previous posts links. The second thing being the conditionals for that. So we don't want to show the next post if there are no next posts, and we don't want to show the previous if there are no previous posts. And then the final thing that I want to do is uh, to give us some sort of an indication as to which post page result number we are on and how many there are in total. So let's start with the next and previous posts. So I'm going to create an anchor tag for this. And then, as you may have guessed, we are just going to pull in the page variable there. Now, the reason that we aren't using this URL function, templating language function, is because we don't want to pull in the absolute path of the website, but rather we just want to append something to the URL. So regardless of what else is in here, we always just want to say page equal to 5, because it may well be a different URL that we are working with. So from here, what we need to do is we need to pull in our posts variable, which now is more than just the result set, because we have created it using the paginator object. It now has access to some other special variables. One of those which include the previous page number, and another one is the next page number. So let's pull those variables in here. So if we are currently on post number 1, posts dot previous page number will pull in 2, if that makes sense. If we're on 1, 2 will be pulled in. Oopsie, not previous page number. Cool. And because we're actually echoing something out, we need to use our double curly brackets for that. Fantastic. And then just make sure within our anchor tag we actually say previous. Now, if we had to refresh our front page now, the chances are is that it's going to give us an error, and that is because this post previous page number is currently not putting in anything. So we don't have a page variable, so there's no point of reference, which is why this particular a variable here is failing. So what we want to do is we want to add some sort of a condition to this template, so that the anchor tag variable here is only displayed if the condition matched is true. So we're going to add a piece of functional template code, which we always use with our set of curly braces and a percentage sign. And then we're going to call our posts variable, which we know has access to more than just the list of posts now. And there is a special condition that returns true or false, which is called, or a special attribute called has previous. And this will say if there is a previous result set, return true. If not, then return false. So this function here should ideally be enclosed. Let's just finish this. Has previous. This anchor tag should ideally be enclosed within this has previous condition. So again, what we need to do, and I don't know if we've used if statements in our conditions before, I can't remember, but just so that you know, what this is doing is let's just put the if in here. That would also help. We are saying if has previous post, which is going to return true or false. So we're going to say if either true or if false. If true, then run this code, and then we want to indicate where the end of the if statement is. So we write end if. So this is only going to be rendered, this line here, if there are previous posts that we can select. So if we run this now, we won't see anything because there aren't any previous posts. If we had to now say /page is equal to 2, we will have previous post, which means that this does show up, and if we click on it, it will take us to our previous post. So we can essentially just copy this entire thing and paste it for our next post. So as you guessed it, has previous has a counterpart condition which we can call, which is has next. Then within this condition here, we can say next page number. And this should allow us to navigate between our list of paginated posts. So, oopsie, we don't want to say previous there, we want to say next. Fantastic. So now we say next, we want to go to next. If we say previous, we want to go to previous, previous, next, and all the while updating this page here. So page 1, we click next, click next. It's now going to change to page 2. Then the last thing that I want to do in this lecture is just to give us some sort of indication as to which page we are on. And the way that we use this is by using the number of pages as well as the current page. So what we can say is we are currently on page, and then we're going to get our current page that we are on, which is a special variable called posts.number, which will give us the current posts. So that will be 2, hopefully, page 2, lovely. And this is effectively mimicking our page variable. And then we want to get our, as we did before here, where we called our paginator num posts, we can now actually just say posts, sorry, not in this file, we can say of posts dot, and now we're calling this paginator attribute as we did before, and then we can just say num pages again. Sorry, dot num pages, and it now should say page something of total number of pages. So if we refresh this, page 2 of 2, page 1 of 2. This is great, and we now have a functioning pagination. If you would like to see this in more detail, I'm going to just create a couple more posts here, just so that we can confirm that this is working correctly. If you are now bored of this lecture and want to move on to the next one, please feel free to do so. I'm not going to talk about anything new in this lecture over and above just adding some random content, to add some random pages or posts to our site so that we can see our pagination in action a bit more clearly. So I'm just going to create 2 more posts and just refresh this page. And now we have 4 pages. Great. 2, and we can see that our next and our previous buttons are now appearing, and now our next button disappears because we are on the maximum number of pages. Great. This pagination seems to be working exactly how we would like it to.